Hey, what's up? This is Gary from Raz Rentals, and boy, has this review been a long time coming. Today, I'm finally going to review NECA's LootCrate Wave 2 number 4. That's the Dark Turtle LootCrate, okay? Now, Scrag is included here. He was a bonus action figure, but I'm going to wait to review him and do a combination review of all the Bebop and Rocksteady gang members, because the brand new 2-packs just came out and I have all of those. So I figured I would do one video and discuss all of their history just in one shot, you know. So this Loot Crate was put up for pre-order all the way back in February of 2021. I got mine in October of 2022, and I'm recording this on March 10th, 2023. I live a sad, sad life. The sad, sad life waiting to review my action figures as they pile up in boxes and boxes. So I was dying to get this Loot Crate for two reasons, all right? The awesome Dark Turtle, and of course, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Bat Scrag. Everything else inside of here is just the bonus. But, let's see all that's included. I've only opened this like one time, too. Just to peek at it to make sure my action figures weren't broken way back when. Okay, so included here you have a pair of Pizza Monster oven mitts. Very neat. The head is a little different than how they actually appear. Because this is like, I don't know. I guess it kind of matches this a little bit. Usually when I think of the Pizza Monsters, I think of more of that, like, I don't know, pill-shaped head or lima bean-shaped head that they have in the cartoon. I will be using these. I promise you that. Let's see, warning, do not use for temperatures higher than 392 degrees. Well, oh, really? Jeez. Well, that's no good. I'm always cooking stuff at 400 degrees. So the Pizza Monsters first showed up in the Season 2 episode, Case of the Killer Pizzas. So these guys have always been a favorite of mine. So as I said, this is definitely going in the kitchen. Up next, you have a New York Party Wagon license plate. Very nice. I don't know where I'm going to stick this thing. Maybe I'll pin it up to the wall or something. But, this is obviously made to look like it's the license plate of the Party Wagon, of the Turtle Van. It's even got, like, the green and yellow colors. Up next, there's a Triceratops pin. That looks cool. I like all these pins, but I never put them on anything because I'm one of those people that, like, I'll get stickers and pins, but I always just leave them in the package. It's like I'm too afraid to use them. But this pin, of course, is the Triceratops Infantryman. And we have already gotten him from NECA, which is cool. And last up, there is a a Ninja Pizza apron. Now that's cool. Home of the nice slice, That's from the very first episode of the Ninja Turtles Turtle Tracks. Ninja Pizza, I believe, sits somewhere in the Ninja District because it has all these different ninja stores and stuff, like a Ninja Dentist. Ouch. And NECA, of course, has used this logo on like pizza boxes for the Fred Wolf action figures, which is really cool. Even just that background of them sitting at that table, that's iconic. NECA, of course, used a similar shot of that on the front of their Turtle in Disguise 4-pack. So, all these things are cartoon nods and references because this was the cartoon Loot Crate. And down here you have Donatello, the Dark Turtle, and we're going to take a close look at this guy and review the package and the action figure. Talk about the episode he appears in, talk about any accessories that could have been included here that are not. You know, we're going to go into a deep dive with him. And as I said, I'm going to talk about Scrag in probably the next video, which will be the combination of all the Bebop and Rocksteady gang members, but not including Bebop and Rocksteady because the Premutation 4-pack will be its own video after that. But, you know, very cool. I've always wanted this guy forever. The Dark Turtle, I've wanted him since I've known about him, but this guy, I've wanted him forever. You know, ever since I was a little kid, he was in coloring books and, you know, everything. So I'm glad to finally have this guy, and I can't not wait to review him. So, you know, one thing I will mention is that I talked to somebody in Europe, and they told me that they did not include the license plate with the European loot crates, which is a bummer. But, you know, at least you got, I guess, the oven mitts and the apron and the pin. I also heard that I think maybe Loot Crate 2, the one with the Armagon, in Europe, they didn't get any of the extra bits. So that is lame, you know, because even though I would assume most people are buying these Loot Crates for the action figure included, you know, it's still nice to have all those bonuses. You know, they're cool things. Some of them might just be junk you're going to throw somewhere, but some of them are neat. You know, I like collecting the pins, even though I haven't pinned them anywhere. And like the other thing that's not included here, that's usually included with the loot crates, is like a little card that has the checklist of everything that's included. For some reason, they didn't include that. I was kind of wondering why they didn't do that. I think they even have one with the Armagon loot crate. Of course, I have not opened that yet because I haven't had time to review him. But I was wondering if maybe they did that because they had to leave out like an item or something like that. Like maybe that's why they didn't include that card. Who knows? I think Daniel had one, but I don't think the Claw Shredder had one either. So I don't know. So now we're going to you know, change the focus of this review, and now we are going to just talk about Donatello, the Dark Turtle. All right, so Donatello the Dark Turtle comes packaged in the standard NECA Fred Wolf Party Wagon packaging, all right? Usually we see this with their 2-packs. And I believe there's only 4 single Party Wagon figures, you know, all of them Loot Crate, Scrag, Easter Bunny, Bebop, and Rocksteady, and finally Donatello the Dark Turtle. The window here is nice and big so you can see all of the action figure, plus his cape spread out, really cool, you know, like a bat. Some of the accessories, I think they might be the only accessories. You got an extra hand and the smoke bomb there. Maybe there's another hand tucked behind this picture. Down here on the bottom, there is a nice illustration. I don't think it's credited on the bottom. No, it is not. But that illustration is done by Aaron Herzuri. And, you know, that guy is an amazing artist. You know, he's done a lot of these package illustrations. And he's got a very nice cartoony style. And if you're ever looking for like a commission, you should try hitting him up. If you turn it to the side here, there's a nice shot of Donatello hanging from a railing, you know. You could just imagine him screaming at some mobster like, "Shredder, I need Shredder." And then over on this side, there's just a nice picture of Donatello the Dark Turtle, again, pointing and yelling. You know, that's kind of like whenever he comes in and he's like, "All right, Shredder, it's just you and me. I'm your worst nightmare." On the back, there's just one single shot of Donatello spreading his cape, much like Batman does in Batman Returns. "I'm Batman. I mean, the Dark Turtle, don't sue me." On the bottom, you have the other 3 Fred Wolf series Loot Crate action figures. Is that it with Loot Crate? Is everything done? You know, after it took forever to get our action figures and people didn't even get all their stuff in outside of the USA. On the bottom here, it says director Randy Falk, Trevor Zamet, sculpt and fabrication Jason Fraley, Trevor Zamet. I never know how to pronounce his last name. I should probably watch a video with him. Paint Jeff Trapp, Mike Puzo, prototypes TrueCast Studios, photography Stephen Mazurik, and packaging Travis Hasback. Lots of good people doing really nice Ninja Turtle work, as usual. And that's it. You know, there's nothing else to really talk about packaging-wise. It's time to open this guy up, move him around. Hopefully nothing's broken, and I will talk to you in a second. So here he is, free from his prison of cardboard and plastic, ready to end the Shredder's reign of terror once and for all. Not to mention, ready to ruin the turtles' Halloween plans. Thanks a lot, mister. We'll never win best group costume as Leo, Mikey, Raph, and the Bat. This dude looks perfect. You know, he's dark and moody. Just looking at him makes me want to stop committing crimes. I don't commit crimes. I think your audio just glitched. So let's talk about the cartoon. Donatello became the Dark Turtle in the Season 7 episode, Night of the Dark Turtle. As the episode begins, the other Ninja Turtles are razzing Donatello about his inventions and lack of fighting skill. Leonardo even says high-tech gimmickry is no substitute for ninja skill and cunning. I mean, geez, Leonardo, like, anyone who's anyone knows that Donatello routinely saves the day, episode after episode, while, you try to throw a ninja kick and slip on a banana peel. Don't worry, Don. I got your back. Donatello says he uses his brains so he doesn't have to fight like the other Ninja Turtles. And he claims that he can take on the Shredder alone. And Raph just laughs at him. Man, what a punk. Just then, Donatello's early warning system alerts him to let him know that there's a vibration under the earth, which is most likely the Shredder returning to the surface from the Technodrome. Raph then calls his machine a heap of junk. But what the hell, man? Why are they all ganging up on Donatello? So, the guys leave the lair and head towards the Shredder. Now, at some government research lab, the Shredder receives a powerful microblaster from some unnamed scientist. This microblaster is small, but Shredder says that it can level a building with a single blast. And finally, a weapon the Shredder can use to rule the Earth and destroy the Turtles. And of course, Bebop and Rocksteady accidentally break it right away. Sons of bitches. So, of course, the Shredder is pretty upset about this. The scientist tries to escape, but he sends Bebop and Rocksteady after the scientist, so they can force him to fix it. Spoiler alert, they never actually get that scientist back. While Bebop and Rocksteady go after that guy, the Shredder pretty much just stays at the lab, so he can try to fix the microblaster himself. All right, so the Turtles find the laboratory, and inside they find the Shredder, of course, and he's there with a few foot soldiers. A small battle takes place. Donatello fights the Shredder one-on-one. What happened to your brains now, Don? Like, now it looks like you're fighting with brute force. And Donatello accidentally throws the Shredder into a console that controls 2 laser beams, all right? And, I love how these haywire blasters, like, chop this foot soldier right in half. That's pretty cool. Now, just to return the favor, the Shredder throws Donatello into some electrical equipment, and it zaps him real good. The Shredder flees the lab because some security guards show up, and the Turtles grab Donatello and flee to the lair. They lay him down, so he can get some rest, but as soon as the guys, utter the name, the Shredder, Donatello wakes up with a brand new personality. He's Batman. I mean, that's the only way to describe it, And he's out for vengeance on the Shredder. He wants to kill him. He doesn't even just want to, catch him and put him in jail. He seriously actually wants to, end the Shredder's reign once and for all. And he's become, pretty serious. So Donatello vows to stop the Shredder once and for all. But, the guys tell him to go rest. And, much like when my parents used to send me to my room to relax, Donatello begins to plan his next move. He says he's tired of wearing stupid masks, and he says criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot. That sounds familiar. So he picks up a Midnight Avenger comic, and he uses the design to build himself a new costume. An amazingly awesome Batman parody costume. Now, he's ready to take on the Shredder as the most feared creature of the night. A turtle? Has anyone ever seen a turtle in the night and thought, oh my gosh, it's a turtle, we gotta get the hell out of here? The other guys, of course, think, Donnie's nuts, so they try to keep him home in the lair, but Donnie uses some cool-looking turtle smoke bomb to distract them, and he escapes. Now, right after Donatello leaves, Splinter gets rid of the smoke bomb, and then immediately up on the surface, the 3 Ninja Turtles have already found Donatello. It's like they didn't even search for him or anything like that. It's like in an instant. So Leonardo says that, they don't want Donnie to take on the Shredder alone and possibly get hurt. But Donnie outsmarts and escapes from them, with this super cool turtle grappling hook, NECA. That's a future accessory pack accessory if I've ever seen one, accessory set number 2. Now, I like how Leonardo says here that he's afraid Donnie's gone totally bats. And Mikey's like, whoa, dude, careful. That could be trademark infringement. All while this is happening, the Shredder's off looking for some men to help him break back into the government laboratory, so he can continue fixing his microblaster. It's the only place he can do it for some reason. Like, why couldn't he use the machinery down in the Technodrome? I don't know. It's not important. So he decides to go ask for some help from the mob, and more specifically, the mobster Wolf Jackson. See, this is the perfect setup, to make sure that the Dark Turtle gets to pound on some gangsters, just like Batman. So back on the Dark Turtle side, while searching for the Shredder, Donatello stops a mugging. He's got this cool turtle chainsaw. Again, that'd be a cool accessory. He uses this to cut down a lamppost so he can hook this scuzz bucket and interrogate him. The criminal tells Donatello that he heard a couple of Wolf Jackson's boys had a job with the Shredder. All right, so there you go. That's his lead, Wolf Jackson. And I like how Donatello leaves him hanging in the air, It's so Batman. Now, here is where I got to mention that, all while Donatello is running around as the Bat or the Dark Turtle, the Triceratons arrive on Earth, and they start to wrangle people up. They want to send planet Earth through a Stargate to their Triceraton home world, where Earth will be stripped of all of its goodies, and the humans will be enslaved. Lame. The other 3 turtles try to stop them, but they can't win. They need Donatello's help. And, I kind of feel like this whole Triceraton plot in this episode should have been its own story. You could have had a whole episode dedicated to the Triceratons. I don't know. They even get, defeated very quickly at the end of this episode. But, more on that later, I just need to mention that, the other 3 Ninja Turtles are dealing with the Triceratons as the Dark Turtle is searching for the Shredder. So anyway, next on the Dark Turtles list is Bebop and Rocksteady. Now, Donatello attacks swiftly, and he uses these cool wrist grappling hooks, which is kind of like Spider-Man, but I guess they're still pretty much Batman, I guess, They're pretty cool looking, too. It'd be really awesome if somebody could, mod the Donatello to have these cool little wrist grappling hooks. So Donatello asks these 2 buffoons where he can find Wolf Jackson, and Bebop stupidly tells him, "You mean the gangster that hangs out on the big shanty on the wharf?" What a putz, I like how, again, Donatello leaves these guys hanging up here. So now Donatello knows where to find Wolf Jackson. Shanty on the wharf. Not long after this, Donatello reaches Wolf in his, that little office in the shanty. And he grabs Wolf instantly, And, what's funny to me is Wolf reaches for a gun and he pulls it out, but he doesn't even shoot at Donatello. Donatello is just walking at, a relaxing pace. And, he never even pulled the trigger once. Donatello punches a hole through the wall and then dangles Wolf over the bay until Wolf tells him what he wants to know, Where's the Shredder? Without any convincing, Wolf just tells him, that the Shredder's at the government lab working on some gizmo. The same one as earlier where the Turtles thwarted his plan, It's still the same night, Dark Turtle, why don't you use your detective skills and maybe, go back to the laboratory to look for clues or something like that. Maybe you would have encountered the Shredder much quicker, So Donatello thanks Wolf for the info, and then he throws him down in the water anyway. What a dick. So, You might have thought that was crude, but just remember, that was in Batman 89, all right? So finally, Donatello finds the Shredder working on his microblaster at the government lab, and he attacks. Donnie moves in for the kill, which I gotta say is very un-Batman-like. I mean, Batman never kills. And, at some point, Donatello does pull out a pair of turtle cuffs. So, I would have said that, maybe I was mistaken and that the dark turtle only wanted to catch this evil fiend. But after the Shredder knocks these cuffs out of Donatello's hands and he jumps up onto a platform, Donatello grapples his way up and he grabs the Shredder and dangles him over a generator. Not only does he dangle him there, it's not like he's just threatening him or anything. He actually drops him and he says farewell, So he definitely was trying to kill the Shredder. But unfortunately, the other 3 turtles show up and they push the generator out of the way. Like, what the hell, Leo? Like, thanks for nothing. We could have had a new villain in this series. I mean, what the hell's your problem? But it gets even worse because, Mikey tries to grab Donatello to, take him back home or whatever. And instead of grabbing him and, being like, it's time to go home, brother. Like, time to relax and try to get you back to normal. He accidentally pushes Donatello into the generator. And Donatello gets electrocuted. Like, what the shit is that? Like, if I was Donatello, I wouldn't talk to any of these bums ever again. So Donatello turns back to normal. The Shredder escapes. The guys tell Donnie all about the Triceratons, and he figures he can use the Shredder's microblaster against them, all right, but he has to fix it first. So in the meantime, him and the other Ninja Turtles take some robot dinosaurs from the Natural History Museum, and they use them to distract the Triceratons. Now, the Triceratons make quick work of these robots with their blasters, but, it's enough time for Donatello to finish fixing the microblaster. All right, he sticks that thing next to his eyes, and he tells the Triceratons that he's the ruler of this planet and the mightiest reptile in the universe. And then he starts blasting stuff with the microblaster to make it appear as if he can shoot beams from his eyes. The Triceratons run away. And, in the end, the guys apologize. Mikey says that Donatello is truly the most awesome turtle of them all. Boy, is that an understatement. Donatello single-handedly defeated the Shredder, took on numerous members of the mob, Bebop and Rocksteady, and even scared the whole Triceraton armada off of Earth, all right? I think it's fair to say that he's carrying the team. And, in all honesty, this is a cool episode. I like it. I do think that the Triceraton thing should have been its own thing, and this should have been just the Night of the Dark Turtle or whatever. But, it's all good. I still enjoy it. I like it. I recommend it. It really did a good job showing just how invaluable Donnie is to the team. I mean, like I said, he could do all this stuff himself. He's got the brains and the brawn. I mean, sure, he sort of has that psychotic vigilante edge, but, he still managed to accomplish what the other Ninja Turtles. Like, I couldn't see Mikey doing all this stuff, especially he couldn't do anything with the tech, So if you're like a huge Donatello fan, this is the episode for you. I think Donatello really shines in this one. Plus, if you're a Batman fan, this is right up your alley, which I am. I'm a huge Batman fan. And now let's finally talk about the toy. First up is accuracy. Did NECA do a good job matching the design of the show? Short answer, yes. Long answer, let's start at the head, all right? Donnie wears a Batman-like cowl that even has ears. His eyes are like a reddish orange, and his neck is bare. Now, the toy here looks good. You got all that. I kind of think that the cowl part might look a little crooked, I'd have to maybe put it on a different mouthpiece from the Turtles in Disguise set to see if maybe it's just this bottom piece or what, but yeah, it seems a little crooked, but it's not too bad. I think for the most part, the head looks really good. Even this like screaming head on Donatello, like he looks like he's really, really angry and ready to kill the Shredder. The only part that seems a little goofy to me is like the neck here. The neck just seems so long, like way, way, way too long. Like they should have I don't know, shaved a third of it, maybe even a half of it off of there. Because if you look at Donatello in the cartoon, you know, his neck is pretty short. You know, his head is kind of lower and closer to his shoulders, you know. You don't even really notice that his neck is bare because his neck is, I mean, his head is so close to his body. So that's the only negative thing I really have to say about this action figure's sculpt. Just could have used a shorter neck. On his chest, Donatello wears his dark turtle symbol. And, you know, this is just hilarious to me, you know, this toothless grimace. You know, it's so unlike the old toys where they had a mouthful of teeth. This guy has got none, you know, and I don't know what's grosser. A giant turtle who lives in the sewer and his teeth fell out because he doesn't brush them. Or maybe he still does have his teeth, but because he doesn't brush them, his gums are all bleeding and there's blood all over his teeth. Ugh. So here on the action figure, you can see that it has that toothless face, which is just great looking, you know. Donatello wears this very cool black cape, and the underside is purple. You know, this is very nice. I really do like this cloth cape that NECA included. And there's a wire inside here, so you can mess with it and try to get to flow in the wind or cover over his body to make him look scary. I think that neck is scary enough. He's almost like E.T. I kid. I'm still happy. I just can't help but look at that long neck. One thing I absolutely love in the show is you know, Donatello has got pecs when he wears this costume, you know, and a rib cage. Pecs and a rib cage, you know. I like to think that his costume has built-in fluffy muscles, you know, just like present-day Halloween costumes. He wears a yellow turtle utility belt with purple trim. It also has 3 turtle shells on it. And, you know, one of those turtle shells, if he pushes the middle of it, it'll actually suck in the wrist grappling hooks. And I think the other one he pulled off his belt and used as a smoke bomb. And so I think that all these things turn into his different inventions, but he always ends up with all 3 on his belt. His cod piece is black, and his shell is still visible. Here on the toy, you can see that they included all that, you know, you got the pecs. It even, the way that it's cut, it kind of makes it appear as though he has a rib cage. You got the belt, which is kind of hanging down a little bit, but it's not too bad. I feel like it should be glued up a little higher in the back there. But you'll have the cape in the way, you won't even see it. The shell is seen, and, you know, he's got the black cod piece, which, because it's extra wide, because he's got a turtle shell, it kind of looks like he's got the butt in the front, but, you know, this poor guy, I've been picking on him. The only thing that's a little off is the belt here has a black trim, and in the cartoon, it originally had purple. Now, what I think is really weird is that he does wear the suit, you know, like I said, in front of the shell. The shell is not a part of, you know, covered in the costume. I'm like, how does he get that over his body? And how does it stay so snug up against the shell like that? Is there like some kind of stretchy material in here that's like squeezing it around the turtle shell? I don't know, but whatever. You know, lots of times in the show, like when you're looking at him and you can see like his more human-like physique, they actually leave out the turtle shell. And it just looks like he's, you know, got a superhero build. And the last thing to talk about is his gauntlets and his boots, all right? Now, you know, these are cool. And what I really like is the trim, you know, the edges. They have like purple bands, you know. That's a very nice way of trying to sneak in his elbow pad and his knee pad colors, you know, on the edges of these. So that's cool. And if you look at the action figure, here you can see them. And, you know, I think that they look good. You know, they stand out. I think sometimes in the cartoon, the purple is so dark, it almost looks like there's not much difference between the purple and the black. But here, I think everything is nice and sharp and it looks good. All right, so let's talk about articulation. This Donatello, he's got a point of articulation right here at the base of the head, and he's got another point of articulation at the base of the neck. So you kind of have a double neck joint, which, you know, it's okay. Like I said, I feel like that this neck should have definitely been a lot shorter. I think it just would have looked a lot better. The shoulder here has rotation, and there's also a hinge. The bicep has a swivel. Now, what's interesting is they decided to go with single elbow joints with this guy. So there's a hinge there, and these also swivel a little bit. Not much, though. And then you have a wrist joint here. Now, the way this guy is built is his upper torso here, this piece up top with the pecs, that's actually attached to the shell right here. So you can actually move that around. And then the bottom, the lower torso here is all one piece. It doesn't have a waist cut or anything like that. But, you know, I mean, you can get him to crunch. And you can get him to twist a little bit. Just right there, but that's it. The hip joints here, it's kind of hard to see what hip joints they are, but they are the exact same NECA hip joints as always, you know. The pretty good ball style hip joints, I guess, where, you know, you can rotate forward, you can rotate back, you can rotate to the side. You can also rotate a 360 if you can. Sometimes it gets stuck a little bit, but, you know, that's pretty much as far as that rotation will go. He's got double jointed knees. So those are good. And let's see here. The ankle joints have ankle rockers and a hinge. And that is all this dude has. You know, what I really like is the cape, as I said. You know, it's really big. You have the wire in it. And they gave you a really nice, like, cape span. So you could really make him look as Batman as you possibly can. I mean, look at that. Like, he looks like he's ready to jump off a building and land on some guys and start kicking the snot out of them. I like it. This cloth cape is really cool. I think this is, you know, one of the nicer capes. It even has, like, the, like, how it's sort of, like, bows right here. It's not just, like, flat or anything like that. You know, it matches the style of the cape in the cartoon, which is pretty good. And that is all.
The new to me, but old to you, NECA Dark Turtle action figure is such an amazing sight to behold. He manages to be so many of my favorite things. He's a super cool Batman parody, and he's also a really awesome Turtle variant. And, you know, I've been trained since childhood to buy every single Turtle variant that I can get my grubby hands on. You know, I kind of wish that NECA could sneak in, like, a few other Turtle parodies, you know, maybe Spider Turtle or Raffareed. Please, don't just stick to DC. You know, I only really like Batman and Green Lantern. Come on, do some Marvel, guys. Donatello's articulation works well for fighting poses. His cape is great because you can drape it over his body, or you can leave it flowing in the wind. His cowl works just like the Turtle in the Sky's heads, so you can swap out his screaming mouth for any other Turtle expressions, which is just fantastic. Here in these action shots, I chose to go with the closed mouth because I think it really makes him look intimidating. The paint on this dude is great, and I've noticed that NECA's flaky joints have gotten less flaky recently. My only real gripe with this dude is the neck. You know, it's just way too long. It sticks out like a sore thumb, or like a giraffe's neck, you know. If I had the guts to customize my action figures, I'd cut that thing down as soon as possible, but I don't have any guts, so I'll leave him as is. And now, accessories. So Donatello only has one accessory, and that's this very cool turtle smoke bomb, all right? And this looks really good. You know, this little tiny turtle with the bright orange eyes, you know, it looks just like it does in the cartoon. And this thing, like, spins around in circles and shoots smoke everywhere whenever he wants to get away from the Ninja Turtles. Eventually, Splinter picks this thing up and he throws it into a different area. Or was it, like, sort of like behind a, I don't know, like a pipe cap or something? What the hell do you call that? I don't know. It looks like he stuck it in a pipe, all right? So, as I said, you know, this thing is very cool, and it looks just like it does in the cartoon. There's even some nice detail on the bottom here. And these things are sort of like wheels. I don't know. It's a very cool design. Other than the turtle smoke bomb, Donatello comes with 4 different hands, right? He has a set of gripping hands, which are cool. These are actually the RAF gripping hands, the ones you can fit the size through. Now, these can't, I don't know, I wouldn't really use them to hold the turtle smoke bomb.
because they're a little tight. You know, maybe you could use them to hold on to like a rope or something like that. But you got this one hand that is sort of like a, you know, like this finger pointing hand, right? Now, I've been using this as one to hold the turtle smoke bomb, because that could fit in there pretty good. It won't fall out. And then he just has this other hand that's like a flat hand that he can slap the shredder in the face. Slap the face of evil.
All right, so are there any missing accessories, you know, items that NECA could have included here? Well, yes, there's a few. And I understand that this is like a Loot Crate toy, and they probably weren't going to pack him with a bunch of stuff, but I think they included, you know, more with the NECA Mirage Shredder, so they could have included at least one other thing. So, all right, first up, there is the turtle grappling hook that he uses to escape the Ninja Turtles. They could have also included the turtle chainsaw, you know, from his cool turtle utility belt. This is pretty neat. You know, he cuts down the lamppost with this. He also uses a turtle gas mask whenever he escapes from the turtles in the sewers. You know, he sets off the turtle smoke bomb, and then he has to escape with that cool turtle smoke or gas mask. He also has a pair of turtle cuffs that he tries to use to tie up or handcuff the shredder, but he doesn't, you know, get anywhere near close to succeeding in that. And finally, he has those cool Spider-Man wannabe gauntlet grappling hooks. You know, those things come out of his wrists. Those are very cool looking. You know, maybe they could have left a subtle hint of that in the sculpt here. It's not included. It's fine. You know, you could probably just tie a string around his wrist and pretend that it's there, right? Okay, well, that's it. You know, as I always say, you know, these items would have been cool to have, but I'm not mad or anything at NECA that they didn't include them. You know, maybe in the future they could include them in some kind of accessory set, you know. That'd be cool. So here's the Dark Turtle next to just a few toys, because, I mean, if you know the general size of the turtles, I mean, he's pretty much that. Although he is different. So let's take a little look here at him next to Michelangelo, because there are some differences here. So if you take a look at the Dark Turtle next to a regular Ninja Turtle action figure, you know, some of these things are similar and some of them are just maybe adjusted. Like the thighs are the same, the shoulders are the same. He obviously has new knee joints. The lower legs here, they look like they could be built off of that, just adjusted to make it look like there's a boot. Same thing with the forearm, you know, maybe that's the same piece, just with the extra sculpting on top. Although his bicep does look a little more fuller than this one does. Like, he definitely looks like he's got a bigger bicep. This guy, it's a little narrow. Same shoulder joints. The necks are the same. The biggest difference here is the torsos, right? Like, the original Ninja Turtle torsos are a lot longer than this Dark Turtle. You know, they sculpted this new torso for this guy, right? And I think that the pecs, well, the upper torso should be higher up, because if you look at the placement of the shoulders, it is definitely lower than Michelangelo's here. Like, the upper torso should be higher, and the neck should fit inside the torso a little more, you know, like you could have had the same, he could still be the same height, just have that torso moved up and the neck pushed in. Because even if you look at the Turtle in Disguise Donatello, like, I mean, that looks better, right? You have a longer torso and it forms around that neck, you know, as opposed to this where it's just kind of sticking out by itself. So that is that. And that's it. Finally, I'm wrapping this up on April 9th. You know, I just want to say thanks to everyone that comes back to check out my videos. You know, I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I've been busy with some art projects over the past month, so I had to put things on hold to hit the deadlines, you know. I've slowly been working on 3 to 4 reviews, so hopefully soon, next will be Zog, or the Bebop and Rocksteady gang, or the Shredder clones. Even though I've mostly been focusing on the artwork, you know, I've been trying to squeeze in some taping and editing. So, like I said, this dude is really cool, and hopefully you got him. You know, it was really cool planning out all the Batman-style action shots. So, you know, let me know what you think. Have a good one, and talk to you later.